Uncover the wisdom of the feminine through soulful conversations on spirituality, healing, relationships, self-leadership, sovereignty, and so much more. I'm your host, Tamar, Gail, feminine embodiment facilitator, feminine arts mentor, and soul tantrika. In this podcast, my goal is to take you deeper into the world of the feminine, stepping more into your feminine pleasure, power, authentic truth, and your sovereignty. Welcome to the Feminine Codes podcast. Today we're talking about something that is both ancient and incredibly personal. We're talking about embodying your inner muse. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's explore the muse. The muse is more than just an inspiration for others. She is a force of creativity, wisdom, and feminine sovereignty that lives within each of us. In this episode, we'll be exploring what it means to embody this archetype and why it matters in our lives as women. We're also going to see how connecting with your inner muse can awaken dormant parts of your being. The muses are known to come from the Greek mythology, and they were 9 goddesses, each representing a different domain of inspiration, such as music, poetry, dance, history, astrology, and there's a few others. Actually, the muses, come to find out, are more ancient than the beginning of the Greek mythology, where we know them from. Before the Greeks found them, they were already worshipped as mistresses of their own right. They were each individually their own wild mistress, and how far back they go has yet to be discovered. These goddesses were seen as the ultimate source of divine creation and human expression. But for a moment, what if you stopped looking at the muses as separate entities, but instead recognize that their qualities are already living within you? Embodying the muse is about unlocking and channeling these qualities in your everyday life, whether it's through your creative expression, solving problems in an innovative way, or finding beauty in the mundane. And if you are signed up for my newsletter, you know that this is something that I base my newsletter off of, is living the sacred, finding beauty and sacredness and the mundane. So before we begin to really dive deeper into this, pause for a moment and ask yourself, if you were a muse, what would you inspire? What lights you up? What makes you feel alive? In today's fast-paced world, we're often conditioned to prioritize our productivity, our logic, and external validation. Success is usually and frequently measured by how much we accomplish, how efficient we are, and how others perceive us. And we see that so much, especially as social media has been on the rise. But this constant focus on doing can leave you disconnected from your deeper essence, the part of you that thrives on being instead of doing. The muse offers a much-needed counterbalance to this. She's here as a reminder of the importance of play and of creativity, of reconnecting to our inner worlds. She invites you to shift from striving to simply allowing inspiration to flow, allowing joy to guide your actions, and allowing yourself to really embrace the magic of the moment. When you embody the muse, you move beyond the linear masculine-driven frameworks that dominate our culture, and you tap into the feminine qualities of intuition, imagination, and a flow. Creativity becomes more than just an activity. It becomes your way of life. Play becomes sacred, reminding you that life isn't only about the outcomes and our accomplishments, but also it's about how you feel along the way when you're doing this. And most importantly, the Muse calls you back to your inner world, the quiet, the expansive space where your dreams, your desires, your true essence lives. And in that space, you find the parts of yourself that have been silenced by societal expectations or that have been buried under the pressure to perform. You reawaken your inspiration, your unique gifts, your sense of sovereignty. By prioritizing the Muse's gifts of creativity and connection, you reclaim the beauty of your inner worlds, remembering that your worth is not tied to what you produce, but it's about who you are. And from that place of wholeness, you can move through the world with authenticity and grace. The Muse is an invitation, a call to return to your sovereignty. In a world that usually demands that we conform, that we perform, that we seek approval from others, we can easily begin to lose touch with our inner truth. And sovereignty, at its core, is about reclaiming your own authority over your life, over your choices, over your creative essence. It's about remembering that you don't need permission to express yourself fully or to pursue what lights you up. It's a great reminder that inspiration is not something that you must seek externally or channel solely for the benefit of others, or at all for the benefit of others. Instead, it flows naturally through you as an extension of your unique essence. It's not about creating to impress or to gain validation or to meet someone's expectations. The Muse invites you to create because it is a part of who you are. It's a fulfillment of your soul's purpose. When you embody the Muse, you tap into a deeper truth, and that is that your inspiration and your creativity are sacred. They aren't commodities to be traded or measured by outside standards. They are gifts that you give to yourself and to the world from a place of authenticity. And this archetype helps you break free from the cycle of doing things in order to please others. And instead, she guides you to act from a place of joy, passion, and alignment with your soul. When you create, when you express, or simply just live from this space, you reclaim your sovereignty. You become the author of your own story. You become the artist of your own life. And this, darlings, this is a radical act in a culture that often teaches you to look outward for validation. As the Muse calls you inward, back to the source of your power, reminding you that inspiration is not something you owe anyone. It is a divine force that connects you to your higher purpose and allows you to leave a meaningful impact on the world. By embodying the Muse, you begin to awaken parts of yourself that have been silenced, overlooked, forgotten. Parts that have been buried beneath layers of societal conditioning, your past experiences, your self-doubt. And these are aspects of your being that once held your creative spark, your deepest desires, your authentic voice. For many of us, these silenced parts include that childlike wonder, our natural inclination to create without fear of being judged, and our ability to express ourselves freely. maybe you were told that you weren't good enough, that your creativity or your creative pursuits were impractical, to just put them to the side, forget about them, or that you needed to fit a certain mold in order to be accepted. And over time, you may have unconsciously pushed these parts of yourself into the shadows, believing that they were unworthy of being seen or unimportant. And so when you step into the energy of the Muse, you are giving yourself back the permission to uncover and embrace these forgotten parts. It's not just about reigniting your creativity, but it's about reawakening all of who you are. The dreamer, the visionary, the storyteller, the lover of beauty and of passion. And the Muse reminds you that these parts of yourself are essential to your wholeness and to your feminine power. This process of awakening is deeply healing. It allows you to reconnect with your inner truth and to reclaim the gifts and strengths that you've always carried, but that you have forgotten. And the Muse invites you to look within, to begin to honor these parts of yourself, to bring them back into the light, to integrate them into the fabric of your everyday life. Through this awakening, you come alive in many ways, in new ways. You begin to create, you begin to speak and move through the world from a place of authenticity and sovereignty. The silent parts become your friends, your allies, guiding you back to your true essence, who you were born to be, and help you fulfill your unique purpose. By embodying the Muse, you don't just awaken these forgotten parts, you celebrate them, you honor them, you allow them to take up space again. Breaking down all of that, here are the 3 key benefits of embodying your inner Muse. Reclaiming your power. So tapping into your Muse helps you show up unapologetically as your most authentic self. Your creative expression. It opens pathways for creativity in every area of your life, not just the traditional art forms. And the third is feminine awakening. It deepens your connection with your intuition and your inner wisdom. Before we get into how to embody your inner Muse, if this conversation is sparking something within you, I'd love to invite you to join the Royal Code's Embodiment Circle. Each month, we explore a different goddess archetype to awaken and embody their unique qualities within ourselves. February's focus is on the Muses, those 9 divine goddesses of inspiration. And through myth, journaling, ritual, activation, invocations, and embodiment practices, you'll reconnect with those parts of yourself that are the source of your creativity and feminine power. This is a space for collective awakening, reclamation, and connection. You'll be guided through sacred practices to embody the Muse archetype and step into your own unique sovereignty. And if you want to learn more, you can just go to my website, tamargail.com, or simply click the link in the description box. And now, the fun part. How to embody your inner Muse. One of the ways that I love, rituals and practices like we do in the Royal Codes, such as journaling. Write about what inspires you and what gifts you feel called to share with the world. Invocation. Spend time meditating on one of the Muses, which qualities resonate with you. And movement, like dance, singing, or just creating in a way that feels free and joyful for you. Here's a journaling prompt that you can do today. Write about what inspires you and what gifts you feel called to share with others. Reflect on times when you felt most creative or alive. How can you bring these feelings into your present? And last one is call back the parts of you that were shamed or dismissed and begin to give them a voice. The Muse isn't just personal, she's collective. When women gather, embodying their inner muses, we begin to activate something far greater than ourselves. And in circles like the Royal Code's embodiment circle, we can reclaim our feminine power together through myth, storytelling, ritual, and practices. And as we close, I want to leave you with this. What would it mean for you to reconnect with the parts of yourself that are alive with inspiration, creativity, and feminine power? To reclaim the forgotten aspects of your soul and to let them guide you. The Royal Code's embodiment circle is a sacred space where we do that together. This February, we'll journey with the Muses to rediscover and embody the gifts that they awaken within us. And I invite you to join us as we step into our sovereignty and call back the creative essence that's always been ours. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on embodying your inner muse. Remember, as we leave, that the Muse lives within you. She is your creative spark, your feminine wisdom, and your voice of inspiration. So take time this week to connect with her in your own way, whether through art, through movement, or simply just being present with yourself. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep awakening the feminine codes within you.